Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Sotah page 26, which addresses the question that is in current debate regarding a person who wishes to purchase a home. Typically, one tries their best to be able to pay up any debts that they may have in order to be able to have a very, very high credit score. And by doing that, you demonstrate less risk, and banks will be more likely to give you a loan, and therefore at a lower rate, which is all about incentives. Interestingly enough, in just a matter of a couple of days, we are actually going to see a new policy that if you have very good credit, then you're actually going to be punished in that there'll be an additional fee that you're going to have to pay. And the reason for that is to be able to help those people who cannot afford homes, which in itself sounds quite noble, to be able to help those who are less fortunate than us. And that money will be to be able to help them. The question is this good policy? And is there any potential source that we could find that may support this policy or question it? So we find the answer, I believe, in this page, on page 26. When it came to a Sotah, we know already the terrible punishments involved if she was in fact guilty for having committed adultery. Even though her husband warned her, please stay away from this man, she secluded herself anyway. Now what happens if she drinks this concoction, this Sotah, and she's found to be innocent? Certainly nothing happens physically to her. She's able to go back to her house, and there's an opinion that actually says that if she was incapable of having children, she will now be able to have children, which is an amazing, amazing thing, that she will end up getting this tremendous, tremendous blessing of having a child. On this, the Talmud says that does not make sense. Because if we think about it, if a woman is incapable of having a child, she now has an interesting loophole of how to be able to get what she really wants. She could do the wrong thing by not listening to her husband, in that she doesn't care that she's going to seclude herself with another man, which is clearly against the Torah. But because there is this concept, as long as she doesn't have relations and commit adultery, even though she did the wrong thing, she's now going to be rewarded and have a child. So it doesn't make any sense, because that's something which every woman would do, which teaches us that the Torah is very sensitive about incentives, that we are not going to provide an incentive for her to be engaged in bad behavior, because this other woman, as it says, who is righteous and modest and pure, would never seclude herself with another man. She would never do it. So because she did the right thing, and she is loyal to her husband, and she's faithful to her religion, so now she has to remain barren, incapable of having children. Why would we help and reward the person who does the wrong thing and punish the person that does the right thing? And therefore, the Talmud says that cannot possibly be. It's illogical. And therefore, some people may actually look at the policy that's in place and say, even though, of course, Torah tells us to give charity, to help people who are poor, but it has to be logical. When it comes to the whole notion of incentives, we want to be able to provide incentives for people to do the right thing. And part of doing the right thing is to be fiscally responsible, not to spend your money carelessly and rack up massive credit card debt, and all of a sudden your credit is shot. If a person knows in the back of their mind that they're going to be bailed out, and not only that, but rewarded for bad behavior, then what's going to stop them from doing so? And not only that, the person who was dedicated and spent all their time making sure to constantly do the right thing, pay their bills, all of a sudden now they're going to end up being punished in a certain way that doesn't seem to be in accordance to what the Torah here tells us is correct.